Baffin Island, in the Canadian territory of Nunavut, is the largest island in Canada and the fifth largest island in the world. Its area is 507,451 km2 and its population is about 11,000. Named after English explorer William Baffin, it is likely that the island was known to Pre-Columbian Norse explorers from Greenland and Iceland and may be the location of Helluland, spoken of in the Icelandic sagas. Geography. Qikiqtaaluk, the capital of Nunavut, is located on the southeastern coast. Until 1987, the town shared the name Frobisher Bay with the bay on which it is located. To the south lies Hudson Strait, separating Baffin Island from mainland Quebec. South of the western end of the island is the Fury and Hecla Strait which separates the island from the Melville Peninsula on the mainland. To the east are Davis Strait and Baffin Bay, with Greenland beyond. The Foulkes Basin, the Gulf of Boavia and Lancaster Sound separate Baffin Island from the rest of the archipelago to the west and north. The Baffin Mountains run along the northeastern shore of the island and are a part of the Arctic Cordillera. Mount Odin is the highest peak, with an elevation of at least 2,143 am, although some sources say 2,147 am. Another peak of note is Mount Asgard, located in Qikiqtaaluk National Park, with an elevation of 2,011 am. Mount Thor, with an elevation of 1,675 am, is said to have the greatest purely vertical drop of any mountain on Earth, at 1,250 am. The two largest lakes on the island lie in the south-central part of the island, Nettling Lake, and Amagiok Lake, further south. The Barnes Ice Cap, in the middle of the island, has been retreating since at least the early 1960s, when the geographical branch of the then Department of Mines and Technical Surveys sent a three-man survey team to the area to measure isostatic rebound and cross-valley features of the Qikiqtaaluk River. Conversely, in the 1970s parts of Baffin Island failed to have the usual ice-free period in the summer. History. In September 2008, Nunavut News reported that a team led by Dr. Patricia Sutherland had found archaeological remains of yarn, rats, tally sticks, a carved wooden Dorset culture face mask depicting Caucasian features, and possible architectural remains, which place European traders and possibly settlers on Baffin Island not later than AD 1000. What the source of this Old World contact may have been is unclear. The report states, dating of some yarn and other artifacts, presumed to be left by Vikings on Baffin Island, have produced an age that predates the Vikings by several hundred years. So, you have to consider the possibility that as remote as it may seem, these finds may represent evidence of contact with Europeans prior to the Vikings' arrival in Greenland. Dr. Sutherland's research eventually led to a 2012 announcement that whetstones had been found with remnants of alloys indicative of Viking presence. The archaeological site at Nunavut is thought to be a trading post and port, and thus Baffin Island would be Helluland. Politics. Baffin Island is part of the Qikiqtaaluk region. Communities by population. Additionally, the communities of Qikiqtaaluk and Cape Dorset are located on offshore islands. There are discussions to start the Baffin Iron Mine, an iron ore mine with a 21-year life, at Mary River, and to build a railway and a port to transport the ore. This may create a temporary mining community there. Wildlife. Baffin Island is both year-round and summer visitor wildlife. On land, examples of year-round wildlife are barren ground caribou, polar bear, Arctic fox, Arctic hare, lemming and Arctic wolf. Barren ground caribou herds that migrate in a limited range from northern Baffin Island down to the southern part in winter, even to the Frobisher Bay Peninsula, next to Resolution Island and migrate back north in the summer. Polar bears can be found all along the coast of Baffin Island, but are most prevalent where the sea ice is located as pack ice, where their major food source is ringed seals and bearded seals live. Polar bears mate approximately every year with from 1 to 3 cubs being born around March. Female polar bears may travel 10–20 km inland to find a large snow bank where they dig a den in which to spend the winter and later for giving birth. The polar bear population here is one of 19 genetically distinct demes of the circumpolar region. Arctic fox can usually be found where polar bears venture on the fast ice close to land in their search for seals. Arctic foxes are scavengers, and often follow polar bears to get their leavings. On Baffin Island, Arctic foxes are sometimes trapped by Inuit, but there is not a robust fur industry. Arctic hare are found throughout Baffin Island. Their fur is pure white in winter and molts to a scruffy dark grey in summer. Arctic hares and lemmings are a primary food source for Arctic foxes and Arctic wolves. Lemmings are also found throughout the island, and are a major food source for Arctic foxes, Arctic wolves and the snowy owl. In the winter, lemmings dig complicated tunnel systems through the snowdrifts in order to get to their food supply of dry grasses and lichens. The Arctic wolf, and the Baffin Island wolf, a grey wolf subspecies, is also a year-round resident of Baffin Island. Unlike the grey wolf in southern climes, Arctic wolves often do not hunt in packs, although a male-female pair may hunt together. In the water the year-round visitors are mainly the ringed seal. The ringed seal lives offshore within 8 km of land. During the winter, it makes a number of breathing holes through ice up to 8 ft thick by visiting each one often, and keeping the hole open and free from ice. In March, when a female is ready to whelp, she will enlarge one of the breathing holes that has snow over it, and create a small igloo, where they whelp 1 or 2 pups. Within 3 weeks the pups are in the water and swimming. During the summer, ringed seals keep to a narrow territory approximately 3 km along the shoreline. If pack ice moves in, they may venture out for €10 km and follow the pack ice, dragging themselves up on an ice floe to take advantage of the sun. Summer land visitors to Baffin Island all have wings and all come to nest. Baffin Island is one of the major nesting destinations from the eastern and Midwest flyways for many species of migrating birds. Waterfowl include Canada goose, snow goose and brant goose. Shorebirds include the phalarope, various waders, murreys including Bra-1/4 guillemot, and plovers. 3 gull species also nest on Baffin Island: Glaucous gull, herring gull and ivory gull. Long-range travelers include the Arctic tern, which migrates from Antarctica every spring. The variety of water birds that nest here include coots, loons, mallards, and many other duck species. Water species that visit Baffin Island in the summer are harp seals, which migrate from major breeding grounds off the coast of Labrador and the southeast coast of Greenland to Baffin Island for the summer. Migrating at speeds of 15 to 20 km per hour, they all come up to breathe at the same time, then dive and swim up to 1 to 2 km before surfacing again. They migrate in large pods consisting of 100 or more seals, to within 1 to 8 km of the shoreline, which they then follow, feeding on crustaceans and fish. Walrus, which actually do not migrate far off land in the winter. They merely follow the fast ice, or ice that is solidly attached to land, and stay ahead of it as the ice hardens further and further out to sea. As winter progresses, they will always remain where there is open water free of ice. When the ice melts, they move into land and can be found basking on rocks close to shore. One of the largest walrus herds can be found in the Foulkes Basin on the western side of Baffin Island. Beluga or white whales migrate along the coast of Baffin Island as some head north to the feeding grounds in the Davis Strait between Greenland and Baffin Island, or into the Hudson Strait or any of the bays and estuaries in between. Usually traveling in pods of 2 or more, they can often be found very close to shore, or less, where they come up to breathe every 30 seconds or so as they make their way along the coastline eating crustaceans. Narwhals, which are known for their long, spiraling single tusk, can also be found along the coast of Baffin Island in the summer. Much like their beluga cousins, they may be found in pairs or even in a large pod of 10 or more males, females and newborns. They also can be often found close to the shoreline, gracefully pointing their tusks skyward as they come up for air. When they first arrive, the males arrive a few weeks ahead of the females and young. The largest summer visitor to Baffin Island is the bowhead whale. Found throughout the Arctic range, one group of bowhead whales are known to migrate to the Foulkes Basin, a bay on the western side of Baffin Island. It is still not known whether they visit for the lush sea bounty or to carve in the Folks Basin. Climate. Baffin Island lies in the path of a generally northerly airflow all year round, so like much of northeastern Canada, it has an extremely cold climate. This brings very long, cold winters and foggy, cloudy summers, which have helped to add to the remoteness of the island. Spring thaw arrives much later than normal for a position straddling the Arctic Circle. Around early June at Iqaluit in the southeast to early mid-July on the north coast where glaciers run right down to sea level. Snow, even heavy snow, occurs at any time of the year, although is least likely in July and early August. Average annual temperatures at Iqaluit are around a 9.5 degrees Celsius, compared with ᕿကိᖅտާᓗᒃ, around 5 degrees Celsius, which is at a similar latitude. Sea ice surrounds the island for most of the year, and only disappear completely from the north coast for short unpredictable periods from mid to late June until the end of September. Most of Baffin Island lies above the Arctic Circle and all the communities from Pontchnartung northwards have polar night in winter and the midnight sun in summer. The eastern community of Clyde River has twilight instead of night from April 26 until May 13, continuous sunlight for 2.5 months from May 14 to July 28, then twilight instead of night from July 29 until August 16. This gives the community just over 3.5 months without true night. In the winter the sun sets on November 22 and does not rise again until January 19 of the next year. However, there is twilight for at least 4 hours a day, unlike places such as Eureka. Sports and activities. Baffin Island is becoming popular amongst the base jumping community as a hotspot due to a wide array of 900 to 1,200 am tall cliffs scattered around the island, for example Mount Thor. See also: Baffinland Iron Mine, Martin Frobisher, Northwest Passage, References. Maps, Iqaluit, 63 degree 44 euro squared 55 euro cubed no 68 degree 31 euro squared 11 euro cubed W, Pontchnartung, 66 degree 08 euro squared 52 euro cubed no 65 degree 41 euro squared 58 euro cubed W, Pond Inlet, 72 degree 41 euro squared 57 euro cubed no 77 degree 57 euro squared 33 euro cubed W, Clyde River, 70 degree 28 euro squared 26 euro cubed no 68 degree 35 euro squared 10 euro cubed W, Arctic Bay, 73 degree 02 euro squared 11 euro cubed no 85 degree 09 euro squared 09 euro cubed W, Qikiqtaaluk, 62 degree 50 euro squared 48 euro cubed no 69 degree 52 euro squared 07 euro cubed W, Nunavut, 73 degree 02 euro squared 05 euro cubed no 84 degree 32 euro squared 13 euro cubed W, Qikiqtaaluk, 67 degree 33 euro squared 29 euro cubed no 64 degree 01 euro squared 29 euro cubed W, Cape Dorset, 64 degree 13 euro squared 54 euro cubed no 76 degree 32 euro squared 25 euro cubed W, ᕿကိᖅտާᓗᒃ, 64 degree 08 euro squared n21 degree 56 euro squared W. Further reading. External links: Baffin Island in the Atlas of Canada, Toporama. Natural Resources Canada, Nunavut Tourism.